All right, welcome. And we are live after the Bengals' first game-like scrimmage. It was like a game-like atmosphere. The Bengals played, and the defense ended up winning 22-13. I'm joined by two very special guests, the biggest fans in the entirety of Bengals Nation. I'm talking about Captain, Bengals Captain,
Hootie!
and Jess Conley. So thank you both so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you,
Yeah.
buddy. Glad to be back.
Yeah, it's so good to have you back. So guys, tell me, what were you encouraged by seeing this scrimmage? Yeah,
Defense. Defense won the day. So, yeah, that's what we were really, really hoping for. And that's what we saw. So, absolutely what we wanted.
yeah. I mean, I look at it, and Dunlap was out, Sean Williams obviously out, Trey Wayne's going to be out for a while. Darius Phillips was even out, and Carl Lawson was out. And so without them, the defense still did a pretty good job of, keeping Joe Burrow in check, if you will. I mean, Joe Burrow, Zach Taylor said he had a solid game. Solid. He had that one touchdown. I don't know what they decided on the interception, if they're going to count it or not, but it's questionable. Pass interference, maybe. But yeah, 19 or 34, 200 yards, one touchdown, maybe an interception, maybe not. And he had 4 trips inside the red zone and couldn't convert. Now, like we said, it's without those, those critical members of the defense, but we still had William Jackson III, who had a very nice game. We had Jesse Bates.
Hubbard had some pressure.
Jesse Bates had a good day.
There you go. Yeah. And I mean, when Ryan Finley was throwing the ball, we saw a couple of near interceptions, right, from Tony Brown. Had a very nice game.
Right.
So a lot of guys stepped up, on the defense. And so I mean, Logan Wilson seemed to be used a lot. He seems to be the linebacker that maybe is going to have, amongst the rookies, is going to get the most playing time, judging by this scrimmage.
Yep. He's got the skills. He's got the skill set. He's got the athletic ability. It sounds like, from his own words, he just needs to pick up the NFL game speed and pick up the playbook, understand his responsibility and where he's supposed to be, given certain looks on offense. He'll pick that up. It'll come with time. There could be some rocky couple of games to start the year, but I assume they'll pick it up fairly quickly.
Yeah, that's great. That's great to hear. And another guy that maybe people didn't think was going to get that much playing time earlier, but he could be playing a lot. Khalid Kareem could be getting some defensive end. Yeah. So what did you see from him, Jess? Yeah, go ahead.
I wish I could have seen anything, because listening to it on the radio really made me appreciate my dad, who would tell me stories of staying up late at night listening to Reds games on the radio. So listening to it on the radio was challenging for me, because I'm such a visual person and I like to take it all in. So I certainly appreciate it being on the radio, because it's better than nothing. But I wish I could have actually seen more. So I'll be really excited for the first game. Unfortunately, we're not getting the preseason experience that we normally get. We're not getting to go to the training camps. We're not getting to go to the family day. They're not having anything like that for the fans. So it's been kind of like hard, I think, for a lot of fans to really be able to see what is exactly going on, and I so appreciate the social media team for putting together all that they have, but I'll be so excited to see that first game and to actually see what we can see. But having said that, I am really excited about the defense. I think that was what I most was interested in seeing today. I would love to get back to the defense from 2015. Super, super awesome, elite defense. We know Joe Burrow is going to be great. We know he's got a lot of weapons on offense. We know he's got great wide receivers. We know he's got great running backs. I am really interested in seeing what the defense can put together this year.
Yeah, I mean, they had Joe Burrow. Sorry, Captain, did you want to add something? Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, she said so much. It's killing me. I don't have a preseason. I can't watch my guy.
Yeah.
There's so much that we could sit in the end zone.
Yeah.
I love all the media guys. Tyler Dragon, Ben Baby, James Rapine, Jay Morris, everybody out there giving us everything we can, but their eyes are only going one way or the other. So sitting in the stands, you're going to be able to pick up a few things. You're going to be able to single out a side of the line, side of the defensive line, an offensive line, a particular player that you're curious about, knowing full well that the reporters are going to cover all of the highlights, and we're not getting that. We don't have the ability. There's very limited video coming out of even the social media team, and we appreciate what they've done. Understand why they're trying to keep some of the stuff under wraps, but we don't know. We can only hope that we're all in the same boat, luckily. So we hope it'll translate. That first game is going to be sloppy for all 32 teams. We just have to make sure that we're not as sloppy as everybody else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I will say, obviously this was the first game-like thing. There's some pressure. There's a lot of attention to this game. And Burrow, he started out a little slowly with the 0-3, and then the second drive, he goes 3 for 4, 71 yards, and he had a 28-yard corner route touchdown to Tyler Boyd.
He gets mad. He gets mad when he has incompletions.
But he gets mad in the right way, though. He doesn't get frustrated and start doing dumb things. He has such poise that he can take that anger and channel it into being
that
excellent.
Killer instinct.
Yeah, absolutely. I was so impressed by that because, it's so, okay, great. Being excellent is great. Obviously, that's good. But I'm more interested in somebody who can overcome adversity, who can see, maybe not have a couple great throws and then just start firing them off. And obviously, we didn't see the throws, so I don't know what went wrong on those. But I was really impressed by his poise and his leadership. He changed one of the plays, I think, at the line, didn't he?
Yeah. They commented
I
on
was
that.
so impressed. I was so impressed by that. I mean, he's a rookie and he's already acting. He's got the respect of his guys, and that's just so impressive to me.
Yeah, Uzama, we talked about last week. He was saying how he changed some stuff at the line. I didn't know he could do that, and I was saying how much that shows his strong leadership and how so many of the greatest leaders in history have had that dictatorial approach, and I know I'm just saying it gets results. If you look at some of the most successful movements in history, and I like that about Burrow. And so when he gets angry, he's like, no, that's not good enough. He gets angry like some dictators that we've seen. When things don't go their way, they get very angry and they take control. They don't take no for an answer.
Waves or greetings. We just need to make sure it's handshakes.
Yeah.
And that's it. Yeah.
No, we don't do handshakes anymore.
That's right.
Yeah.
Socially distant high fives, like
elbow bump.
Yeah, elbow.
Yeah, they have to be careful. I guess it's in football is an exception. So maybe if you really like somebody, you can just tackle them. To maintain the whole. Yeah.
Smack their butt, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. I smack a lot of bottoms. I'm a friendly guy.
Wow. Jess, well, you got to keep this guy in line. That's crazy.
I can't.
Yeah. But so Drew Sample, this is a guy that, let's admit, a lot of fans were down on. And can I tell you something? It's ridiculous because there's a perception of where he should have been drafted that fans had. They have no idea what's going on.
Well, right.
And it's because certain people lead the discussion. There are certain people who have led the discussion who they were outraged, and then fans just followed in line and were outraged with them. I admit, okay, when you look at the video, we're at the draft, and there's some excitement from her and I heard the name. I can't say that I watched a lot of this film. The excitement is my natural. I'm always excited. I get excited over everything. So I needed to go back and learn who Drew Sample was. But when I watched the tape, he was underused, but I liked what I saw. So I have to believe these teams, these scouts, things leak. There was some thought that maybe the Ravens were going to pick him up. Some other teams might have been interested. If he's going to go in the third or fourth round, and the Bengals are worried that they're not going to be able to get around and get another shot at him, take him. We've had some guys who we didn't reach for, quote unquote, that didn't pan out. We've had some history of quarterbacks in the first round that were rough. Teams miss all the time. So I'm going to hold judgment. I'm going to let him have a healthy season and put some work in. And let's see what he can do. He's put in the work in the offseason with Burrow.
Look,
he looks ripped.
I mean, Captain.
I
pointed out, Dwight Clark or that guy, Julius on the Broncos, Julius Thomas. so Peyton Manning has had so many tight ends emerge from nowhere, right? Where people didn't know they were going to be as talented receiving as they were. But he's Peyton Manning. He has good anticipation, and he makes them into stars, right? I'm saying with a guy like Burrow, Drew Sample, he could reach heights that he wouldn't have reached elsewhere. And so far, this camp, we've seen indications of that. And even in this preseason, in this scrimmage, people are saying Drew Sample looks good. He looks good. He's making plays. Another guy. Honestly, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, I was super, super heartbroken over Tyler Eifert because he was one of my big favorites from forever. Since he joined the team, he's been one of my big favorites. So when he left, I was upset, but I was happy because I feel like this is going to give Drew Sample and CJ Uzama a place to shine because, obviously he was hurt a little bit, but I think that now with him gone to the Jags, Drew Sample can really step up and show us what he's got. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I am too. You know who else I'm excited about, Captain?
Who?
T. Higgins. T. Higgins, yeah.
T. Higgins is a beast.
How could you not be excited about T. Higgins?
Oh, man.
I'm over the moon for T. Higgins.
I love AJ Green. I love AJ Green, as everybody does.
So does T. Higgins.
But exactly. T. Higgins loves AJ Green. T. Higgins wants to be AJ Green. T. Higgins wants to be a better version of AJ Green. And something about T. Higgins, everybody has a different game. They've got what they're good at. My thought has always been AJ Green has been a finesse guy. He will wow you. He'll blow by you when you don't realize it. He's got that deceptive speed. His 40 time wasn't, crazy impressive, but he will absolutely catch you off guard and be wide open. I think T. Higgins has that same ability. T. Higgins is strong.
Did you see that sideline?
He's a dog.
Yeah, the Bengals uploaded the clip of Burrow to T. Higgins on the sideline. Did you see that, Captain?
No.
Yes.
I didn't see
yeah. Very nice, impressive sideline grab where he extended. He showed his big body, his big catch radius, which, by the way, AJ Green, again, he learned how to.
Green, on tape, T. Higgins' catch radius. You've got Burrow, who's already the most accurate QB in college history. And then you're giving him guys that let him make mistakes in his rookie season. People are sleeping on the offense. I'm telling you. We could surprise everybody. I think we will.
But let's be honest. I mean, AJ Green, obviously, when he's back. But for now, Burrow's number one target, the guy who stands to benefit in terms of, let's say, making it to the next step, the Pro Bowl level, is Tyler Boyd.
Absolutely.
Tyler Boyd is the go-to guy. And Burrow said after the game, he said, we are going to do some things together. He's going to have a big year. TB is going to have a big year with me. Burrow, yeah.
And I go back to, I don't remember what year it was, but the year that they had Mo Sanu, Marvin Jones, they had all those awesome receivers, and you never knew who they were going to throw it to. They couldn't double team everybody. So I think the more awesome receivers you have on the field, it doesn't matter who's getting the catches. It doesn't matter who's getting the touchdowns. Having all of those guys out there makes every one of them better because every one of them has more opportunities to get down.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, let's talk about offensive line. I know we didn't watch it, but what I heard, from what I've heard from the radio people is that Michael Jordan has taken a step forward. He's going to be a solid contributor, a reliable guard for the Bengals. And so that's 3/5 of the line there. We know Trey Hopkins. We know what Jonah Williams can do. So we have 3/5 of it kind of figured out.
Absolutely. Yeah. And with Jonah, I think we're going to see a huge jump on that left tackle, the quality of the left tackle play. That is going to then help left guard play better. That's going to help center play better. That's, like you said, the 3/5 of the line, there's going to be a huge improvement, which means that, okay, maybe Trey can help out his right guard a little bit more, or maybe Trey's not going to have to worry about the left side. So, his right guard helping him out a little bit more. We're increasing the talent all across every position just because it starts with Jonah Williams being an absolute beast.
Yep.
And then Michael Jordan. Yeah.
And let's be honest, Captain, the Bengals have two guys that are long-term projects, but are fast developing. I'm talking about Fred Johnson and Hakeem Adeniji. These two guys, the coaches are high on, and I see why. I mean, they're very talented. It's the mental part. It's up here, coach, captain, where they are still so new in their careers that they're developing. And when they get there, when this catches up with this, I point you to my guts because that's the most impressive part of my body. But I'm saying for them, I'm sure it's their feet or they're somewhere. When those catch up. Fred Johnson and Adeniji could be not average as starters. They could be very quality as starters.
Absolutely. And finally, coaches can be great, but the teams that I've actually seen develop, who dey baby, develop talent, they've had talent to develop other talent. And we haven't had that on the offensive line.
Right.
Trey was a surprise that I feel like all the fans knew about, but the previous head coach didn't know about. He's been as advertised, and hopefully he'll take the next leap this year. But Jonah just seems like that anchor at left tackle that we haven't seen since Whitworth. That we've seemingly always had. And if he keeps rapidly improving, he's going to be able to BS with the other guys on technique. He's going to be able to bring them into whatever clinics and conferences that he's got, and adding DJ Reader on the defense, more guys to stress that offensive line and get pressure and let them know after practice, hey, this is what you did. Your hands were too far outside. Your hands were high. You tried to shoot high.
Yeah.
And I got you. They're going to be able to trade that information back and forth. It's just going to improve everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And it starts with, we just didn't have that last year. I mean, Cordy Glenn filled in admirably, but it sounds like his heart was never in it.
No.
So, how much of a help was he, coaching up the other players? I don't know.
Nothing.
And my thing is too, like, I remember when the offensive line was decent when Andrew Whitworth was with us, and he was really the biggest guy, right? The biggest O-line guy at that time. They weren't fantastic. The O-line was never like elite, but they were good enough that the offense was able to get things done. I'm talking like 2014, 2015. Like, they were good enough. They don't have to be elite right now. They can get there. They
covered Bodine's weaknesses.
Right.
We look back at that line. We used to complain
the top five
so much
line.
about Bodine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We had a top five line.
Heartbeat. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we had a top five line with Bodine, who was a
knew.
bottom five starting center,
Yep.
Right.
And and the thing is, though, Captain, we also added another player who's going to help the offensive line, even though he doesn't play offensive line. I'm talking about Joe Burrow. Right. So you look at Joe Burrow, and as my colleague Hoji, he says he has the fancy feet. He knows how to move around, and he knows how to throw. Good pocket presence and anticipation, and kind of, let's say, like a Russell Wilson, but different style. Russell Wilson is more like running around in circles. He just kind of like Burrow kind of like more like it steps up, go to the side, gets his pass off, but he compensates. He makes up for so much of the pressure, with his own.
His footwork and mechanics are phenomenal. We studied Wing Chun, and one of the most important things in that was, basically protecting center line, making sure that you never put yourself in a position where you were off balance or the opponent had an advantage. And when you watch Burrow and his feet, he's never taking that step that puts him in a position where he can't make a play or, throw down the field. He's always ready to make that big throw down the field. He's always ready to stop or make a cut if he has to. And the way he navigates a pocket, I know there's going to be a lot of people who are going to compare him to how many other Bengals quarterbacks we've ever had, but it's unfair because what the guy did in college, we've never seen. He's a number one pick. He deserves to be treated as a number one pick and compared to the top of the league. So, I think the sky's the limit for him, but his foundation where he's starting from is unlike anything that I've ever seen us draft. So I'm
agreed. Yeah. He doesn't have that quit in him, that the previous number one overall pick we had at quarterback did. I'm not going to name any names. I'm not going to name any names. Okay?
Yeah,
no, Captain. That's not right.
Oh yeah.
No, but I'm just saying he's not. He's
not to name names.
Not to name names. He doesn't find excuses. He doesn't make excuses and blame.
So the other guy. I remember some of those bad games.
Don't say his name. Don't say his name. Yeah, but go ahead.
No, I won't.
We're not saying his name.
I won't.
Nobody's saying any names.
But a pick six, even though it's part of his name. The post game interviews. It was just so laid back. And
he didn't care. It was like he didn't care, and I was like, I need you to
care. There was no ownership.
Honestly, Captain, he was kind of a socialist. If you look at Burrow as being more of a strong leader, he had that kind of. No, I'm just saying he was a weak leader. He was like everybody. It's all the same. I'll wait in the bread line to get my. He's like he had that attitude. Yeah, no, I'm just saying he didn't have that. It's me. I'm going to get it done. I have to be the best.
Burrow owned it from the very beginning that he's got to get better. He's going to get better. And I can really see him. Just wait. He's going to lose his effing mind one day. Someone's going to do something dumb. Offensive line, someone's going to run the wrong route at a critical play of the game. He's going to lose his mind. Yeah. And everyone's just going to cheer. And that's one of the things that I love the most about A.J. McCarron in college when he lit up his center.
That's true.
But the talent didn't translate to the NFL.
No,
now we got another guy who's not afraid to light somebody up if it's going to win the game. And he's going to light himself up.
I'll tell you something, Captain. They talk about comparing him physically to Romo, and I'm fine with that. But you have to also add in that he has that edge. He has that nastiness. He has that, like I said, that dictatorial personality like a Tom Brady who will chew out his teammates and yell at them and get involved in every single step of the way. They interviewed Joe after the game. He said, what did you think of the game? He said, it was okay, but it wasn't perfect. And I expect perfection. I demand perfection from myself and from he wants to get it perfect, and he's going to get there. Yep. And so this year, I do think we're going to have a good year, Captain. I do think it's going to be a good year. I think we're borderline.
We need some luck and health.
But regardless, but regardless, with that attitude, he's going to improve himself. His teammates are going to be encouraged. And let's just transition here a little bit into his social activism and why that's so important. Because if you look at the disconnect on a lot of teams, so a lot of stuff is not said. Some players are dealing with certain things, certain experiences in America, and others are. And if there's just no connection, if they feel like, this guy doesn't really care about me on a human level, how much are they willing to go to battle for him? But when you have Joe Burrow, he got Mike Brown. He got Mike Brown to come and walk at least, I want to say at least like half a mile probably to the museum.
he had the Fitbit counting the steps. But you know what? It was also Trey Hopkins. It was also Carlos Dunlap.
Exactly.
And I want to say that, you know what? I don't think Mike Brown would have ever shied away from that. I think some people have maybe just for the clickbait and the headlines, maybe tried to insinuate that be okay with that. But you didn't. But
I would say this. I'll say, Captain, just to be clear. Mm-hmm. So many people have talked about how Mike Brown really treats them like family. And I'm talking about black players, and that is huge. He really honestly does not treat them like employees. He actually cares about them.
And this goes I don't want to say too much, but what I see right now, I'm not afraid to say it. What I see right now is a different type of movement. There are a lot more voices. There's a lot bigger call. I think the Bengals statement was absolutely perfect because I don't care who you are. One person might be a lightning rod. One event might be a lightning rod. But when the Bengals came out and said there is injustice, there is inequality, we have brothers and sisters who are hurting and they want us to listen, everyone can get on board. And I've seen some of the troll comments out there, and they're trying to pick apart one incident or whatever, one fact, one number, one anything that's not part of the conversation.
Right.
This is a large issue of people who are either scared or worried. They don't know how to talk to their kids. I've learned myself some things because I have a diverse group of friends. Yeah. And some of those diverse friends have not had experiences that other friends were afraid to tell me about. That I'm hurt that I never heard because they assumed and I never asked. And there's been so much growth and myself, my mind's more open and I've learned places that I'm wrong. And the Bengals really, really captured that from a big picture in a way that I have never heard. And we're all on board. And Burrow from the very beginning has decided to take that leadership. And he's going to get the player buy-in because it's not just about football. You know, they've got families off the field, and they know he cares about them as people. Look, in Captain, addition to the number.
Yeah, Captain. I mean, football it's not like you have the physical talent, you have the preparation, but there is still human emotions. And so what I'm saying is, if those look, Trey Hopkins came out and told some very powerful stories. You know, Trey Hopkins is a very gentle, sophisticated man, and still he talks about how he's targeted. It's really just clearly for the color of his skin. And so when you have those deeply rooted issues that were not talked about, and now you have a guy like Burrow, he's like, hey, I don't care about the demographics. I don't care about my audience. I don't care it's going to turn some people off. This is a human thing. I'm not making it political. And when he does that, right, you know, I feel like a Trey Hopkins is going to push a little bit harder. You know what I mean? He's going to strive a little harder. He's a great player. I'm just saying, you know, or let's say like maybe like a Bobby Hart. You know, I feel like these guys, they're gonna get a little bit more energy and maybe take that next, or like a Michael Jordan. We're seeing both Bobby Hart and Michael Jordan taking steps forward this year. And I know part of it is Joe Burrow leading by example, but I gotta feel some of it is just caring about them. And I'll say, you know, like Brady, if you ever hear people talk about Brady, other players, they're like, I love that guy. He's such a good guy. And they don't even know his politics. It doesn't matter. It's just he cares about them. He cares about
Brady. Look at how much Brady cared about Antonio Brown.
There you go.
Crying out loud.
There you go.
Yeah.
I think Tom Brady and his grandma are the only people that cared about him at one point. But no, you're so right. You're so right. And I think the most important thing about what Joe Burrow is doing is he is doing what all of us should be doing who are not personally affected. He is amplifying the voices of his teammates. He's amplifying the voices of those around him. He's saying, we're with you. He's saying, we hear you. And those are the most important things. And people want to make it about something that it's not. People want to say, oh, but this, and this. No, he's saying, you're hurting. I hear you. That's literally all he's saying. And if you can't agree with you're hurting, I hear you, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. No, I know. And I'm saying
universal.
He's so convincing. He got Mike Brown. I'm telling you, Mike Brown, I'm not saying that they have like drones, you know, over his house, you know, keeping track of how much, but he technically has not left the house more than 3 times during the pandemic. If you look at the color of his skin, he's very pale.
Well, he shouldn't because he has a lot of risk factors. So
yeah, no, good for him. We need that guy.
I can't wait till this goes over because I tell you what, anybody that has a chance to get to the taste of the NFL, he's always there. He's there with his wife Nancy. All the rest of the family.
I love Nancy.
They are a blast to talk to. I love talking to Mike Brown.
Nancy, by the way, is a hilarious person. I don't know.
I love her.
So great.
I love her so much.
I want to be adopted. Nancy, Nancy, if you're listening, please adopt us. Yes. We're great. We'll help do dishes. We'll clean up the holidays. Please adopt us.
Yeah. No, Nancy Brown is so sweet. I can't.
That's where Jess got this, basically.
Yeah. She's the one. Her friend, actually, her girlfriend is the one who told me about this lady who makes these things. But
I feel like I've told you that.
I talked to Nancy one time. I went up to her and I said, "Oh my gosh, that's Nancy Brown. Oh my gosh, I was so nervous to go talk to her." And I said, "You know, we've been season ticket holders for whatever it had been at the time." I said, "I just want to say, you know, thank you for all that you do for the team in the city of Cincinnati." And she goes, "You're a season ticket holder? I should be thanking you." Yeah. And I almost burst into tears.
No, I told her. I said I'm a big fan.
Sweet.
Yeah, it's like I love the show, but you know, nobody cares about my opinions because I'm short and I have an accent. And she said, you know, forget those people. Get out there and do it. They need to hear your voice. And she patted me on the head very gently. Aww. Yeah. And she said, I love you. And I was like, whoa. Aww. And then she just kind of shoved me forward and said, get out there, you know, get out there and do it.
Kicked you up the nest, huh?
She looks like a head patter. She looks like the type.
No,
that would
yeah,
pat a
it's
head.
like this. It's
I
like,
don't get my
like
head
that.
patted a lot.
She
But
can't reach your head.
Yeah, that's true. She can reach mine very easily. She had to actually bend down. Yeah, but you know,
Aw.
yeah, it was very sweet. I love Nancy. Yeah. So, Captain, this was a very fun show. A lot of people are very hyped about the team and so happy to talk about the scrimmage. I'm so glad you two could join us, and we hope to do this more often. I don't know if you know, Captain, but we are now we have very soon we're going to be launching the Believe a new podcast, the #1 Bengals podcast. It's on the Believe Podcast Network. Yeah, very good. I don't know if you heard of Believe. They have a lot of former players. You know, Takeo Spikes has a podcast.
oh yeah.
Ike Taylor.
That's
Yeah.
on that
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So Takeo, all these guys, we're working together. A lot of former players and me, and yeah. So we're going to be on there. And a Captain, in your opinion, in your personal opinion, just your honest take, do you think people should subscribe to our show and like and leave comments and turn on notifications?
I feel like you would be doing a disservice if you didn't like and subscribe and check out the Patreon,
Yeah.
OnlyFans.
Patreon.com/DH Sports. Yeah, if you want to give us money, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I 100%
Quality
agree.
entertainment, factual.
Thank you.
I loved your Travion
All
Williams
of the
show.
above. Oh,
I laughed
Travion.
so
Travion.
hard
We
at
love
the
you, buddy.
Travion Williams show.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you guys are always funny.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Great.
So yeah, you
thanks
heard
for
it
having
from
me on.
Captain and Jess. You heard it from them. I didn't say a word. I just asked the question, and Captain
Just
did the rest.
Click whatever button. Where is
Yeah.
the subscribe?
Down there, right there. Yeah, Just click everywhere to be safe. But yeah,
Just
and
click
then
everywhere.
subscribe, turn
Bell,
on
I think. There's a
notification,
bell.
and we're gonna try and do a lot of these shows because it's a very exciting year with previews
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
recaps and all that. Yeah.
I'm going to be hoarse by mid-year, so I might have to learn sign language, but we have a friend who will help with that.
Yeah, for sure. That sounds great. Okay, so for Bengals Captain and Jess Conley, I'm Dadio McDuke. So long, SVT. Bye.
Yes. Hooday!
Yay.